What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and in today's Final Fantasy news break, we've got a lot of little stories and one real big one surrounding patch 4.45, which is scheduled for November the 6th, so it is not too far away from now. But with that, I want to dive through all these stories that we haven't really covered yet in kind of one big bundle of news for you guys. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the first story or on the last story or anything in between. I think I'm summoning my inner Philip DeFranco with the with the couch in the background. So let's just go ahead and do this thing. So let's kick this off right with updates to the Encyclopedia. If you guys aren't aware, I'm going to bring this into frame. The Encyclopedia version 1, I've got it right here. It's fantastic. I would highly recommend, if you have any interest in the story in the world that is being built by Square Enix here, pick this up. You will not regret it. But they are releasing version 2, in which that obviously all the new areas, the new lore, the new stories are being brought in. So they kind of give a preview here on the developers blog. And again, this and all stories, link is going to be in the description below, so be sure to check that out. So 4th book, Servants, 5th book, Bounds, you know, the Desin, so we can see more about the red mages, the jobs, the weapons, the various burdens, the various beast tribes, the beasts themselves. And if you get this book, you're going to be able to get an in-game code for Matoya's hat. So Matoya being a character centralized more in Heaven's Word story, but it's still obviously that very iconic hat, very well brimmed. Mages out there, scholarly mages out there might be really interested in this, so be sure to check it out. Before we jump into the main story for 4.45, like I said, coming out really soon. There are new optional items. If you did not, if you weren't a part of the game or missed the Halloween events last year, you can be able to pick up those items on the Mog Station. They're all $5. You know, you do with your money what you see fit, but you can pick up the Wolverine, the werewolf costumes, stag pumpkins and things like that. So this is kind of how the system works. Hopefully you're enjoying the Halloween event, and ends November 1st, which is coming up really quickly, so be sure to get your minions. Otherwise, they'll be for sale next year, probably for $5 or more. So let's talk about Pyros. So the Forbidden Land of Eureka Pyros coming in patch 4.45. They've kind of teased stuff off. We got some stuff, they've talked about Logos actions before. We've covered it here on the channel in depth, but it's the ability to collect things, to build these lost abilities that you can then equip to your, Black Mage here, casting Cure for Pyros. No, I don't really fully understand if this system is only set in here or if they're going to just open it up to all Eureka, but I'm guessing it's going to be here just like Light was in with Pagos, and so they're just kind of building up from there. But harness the power of, I'm going to say, memes. So I think the localization team is going to have a lot of fun. With the power of memes, you can you can have new abilities, essentially. So that's going to be fun. What I wanted to jump into, because we've seen this picture before, here it's frozen wastelands going into the mountain, which is lava. But here is a really interesting image, and we're going to just open that up in a new tab and really kind of dive into it. Let's see here. First thing I saw was Viera. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this how they're teasing us with some form of Viera, some form of race, which is, classic from Final Fantasy XII. This is pure speculation, but the body type is very similar to it if you look at it. Now, this is obviously looks like it's an enemy. Looks like we are fighting whatever this, this boss creature is. And if you guys know, if I'm, missing the mark, sound off below. I got lost on the memes perspective, but I just, I'm going to zoom in here. So I was like, is this some kind of hat or helmet? No, this is a part of who this creature is, with these glowy, almost moth or, butterfly-like ears, or, something coming out of the top of their head. No idea if this is some form of corruption. No idea about what the story. And so honestly, this image alone makes me go, gosh, I need to level up in Eureka. Just to kind of see what this is going to be about, and where they're going to go with it. But what an interesting way that if this is a tease to the Viera, which is, they typically have bunny-like ears, and I'm wondering, you could easily see them kind of play around with in the lore with different types of ears for players to play with. We have had rumors that we're going to see, not just one but two races in the next expansion of 5.0, and so they always like to say, like, well, how, why is it we haven't seen these races yet in the world and in the game. And it's like they've teased us. Every expansion, they've kind of teased us about the previous expansion as we lead up to it. And I look at this image and I go, I really, really would love them to bring the Viera into the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Personally, I also would like to be able to play Benga, and we've seen those as well, but it seems like they want our races to be very more human-like in its form and fashion, and this is still, I guess, hitting those same kind of notes, as we say. But I have to say, this is really, really exciting in my personal opinion. We also have updates for, where are you? Here we go. We'll just go ahead and jump to it because I don't know why I couldn't find it. Even further adventures of Hildebrand, side story quests are coming. So I have not personally been keeping up with Hildebrand ever since they took out Trials from his quest and his storyline. So hopefully we'll see more, about that being brought in. I get it. Every time I say that, people are like, well, it kind of, people didn't do it and then they didn't have access to the fights and then it kind of caused grief. I know. But it was so much more fun and interesting, in my personal opinion. Maybe we'll see Greg come back. Love the names. And lastly, just for any PvP players out there, they're talking already about 4.5, the patch. Talking about for Rival Wings and for Frontlines that ranged, have a ranged DPS have an advantage over melee DPS because melee DPS are way more vulnerable, way more exposed in these type of events. So not changing for Feast, but for these for Frontlines and Rival Wings specifically, they are looking into making some adjustments to melee DPS. I don't know what those adjustments are going to be, but this is kind of the first real tease about what's going to be in patch 4 or 5. So it looks like they're looking at making some PvP adjustments there to say. Guys, that's our news roundup for Final Fantasy XIV. We have a lot of little stories here. Again, like I said, links in the description below. I'd love to know your thoughts on this or any of the stories we talked about today. For Work To Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You. Yes, you on YouTube. You. Look into my eye. Look into the feasting eye of Charles Gubu, a.k.a. Chuck. Listen, I totally know you want to hit that subscribe button. It's really important you do. Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth it. The eyes don't lie. Okay, all right. Good talk. Good talk. Oh, and thanks to our patrons. You guys are amazing. Gubu, Chubu, out.